Already. Shalom, Israel. I'm going to start by giving all glory and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rachakadash. Double honors to those an apostle, great Muslim, teacher and well. Peace and blessings to the brothers who are pushing this work into sincerity, to the sky abroad. I'm the brother, I'm one for down in Tampa, Florida, from the camp of GMS Tampa. I come with another Lord with an edifying lesson, to feed the sheep. And as you can see in the video, you seen what was taking place, man. You had over there in Italy where there was a civil unrest, and you seen what they were doing, to those authorities, the police. They was, just kicking them, stomping them, beating them. This is the same spirit that's gonna be amongst, individuals here in America, man. Starting off what you're seeing over there in Minnesota. But I got this precept right here. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1, it says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come," great troubles, are here to come, to this place known as America, man. You see, you got all these things taking place right now around the world, the uproars, people fighting back, sedition, Iran. You see what's going on over there. They putting people to death, man. Their death toll is continuously increasing, man. But same like you see over there in Iran and Italy, and here in America, it's gonna just amplify here in America, man. You see, these American people who have no clue of what's about to really take place here, man. And the Lord is stirring it up right before them. You see? We're about to enter into a time like never before, as the scripture says, Jacob's trouble, man. This is about to go down, and you're about to see millions of people, on edge, crashing out. And that's what you see in that video. So reading this again, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. And I ain't gonna make this too long, just straight to the point, while I'm parked. It says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." So we know that great troubles are to come here, as we see this stirring up already. And this is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1, and it reads, "He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself." And how we're doing that by watching, seeing what's taking place, tying these things with the scriptures, man, with what's going on, what's taking place throughout the earth. You see that this place is just on a decline, man. And in this place known as America, man, it's soon to be wiped off the face of the earth, man. With what? Those thermonuclear missiles, man. And you see Iran, in America, over there in Israel. This shit is stirring up more and more, to where you're going to see, these major players within prophecy, is going to eventually, send off those nukes, man. Send off those missiles. This is what we're waiting on. We're waiting on major things to pop off, through this period of by Shemel Shai. And the signs that come with it is these people, losing it in the streets, going into, that measuring the time diligently, and tying these things with the scriptures. It says, "And when thou seest part of the signs pass," so there'll be signs, "which I have told thee before, then shall thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." And this is how we're going to see it, by these things taking place. Verse 3, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world," and this is what's taking place, uproars in the people of this world, man. They're losing it. They're on edge. They're crashing out. They don't know what else to to depend on, man, at this point. All right, they're having, prices go up. They're having, more, restrictions. All right, they're losing their ability to be able to be free, okay, or feel free, okay. They're losing all of these things, and it's being stripped from them. This is why these people are continuously, all right, snapping out here, man. Okay, and it's only gonna get worse. The lack of food, the lack of water, the lack of being able to support themselves. All right, this place is only getting worse and worse, leading to, all right, it just being all wiped out, man. Okay, completely destroyed. It says, and earthquakes. Okay, with those earthquakes, we've been seeing earthquakes, pop off every day. If you look it up and put in earthquakes, 2005 or 2006, 26, it's going to be right there. Okay? It's going to be right there popping off every day. So these are those signs that we'll be seeing. Uproars of the people, earthquakes. All right? Here you have it, 2025, 2026, major earthquakes taking place. All right? Because what? The Lord is turning this place upside down, man. The mirth is being stripped from these people, okay, right before them. The laughter, the enjoyment, that's all being, snuffed out, man. These people are about to be in great mourning and in great suffering. All right? Verse 4, it says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And that's what we're seeing, the end, all right, of this rulership of wickedness, man. We're seeing the end of Esau's kingdom, all right, and that righteous one being, being to flourish. You see, this word is, through the Spirit powered by Shemel Shai, is crippling Esau's kingdom, man. This word is just going out through the four corners of the earth, and it's breaking this place down, man. And this devil is losing it. He's already talking about his doomsday clock. There's 85 seconds left, and all these other extra shits. Man, this devil is he's on his last leg. Okay, his ankles are buckling, man. Okay, we're giving all glory and praise to Yahweh by Shemel Shai because we're seeing it, man. All right, but as you see, the sedition that's taking place amongst individuals throughout the world, it's only going to intensify. And that brings me to 2 Ezra chapter 15, and I'll really start at verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, right? Woe meaning what? Destruction, man. Okay, death and destruction. All right, you got a lot of people who depend on America, depend on the system. All right, this wicked system. Ultimately, it's just destined to be destroyed. You see? But those who depend on it is going to be destroyed with it, because they wholeheartedly have put their trust in it. Especially speaking about the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They gotta, as the scripture says, they have to know it at the death by pain, roughly paraphrasing, because our own people have, put that whole heart and trust within this wicked kingdom and the system. Okay. Instead of Yahweh by Shemel Shai. So, and with that comes a great punishment, man. All right. Pursuing, what is it? Isaiah, I believe 30. All right. You can read that, and it goes into it, man. Our rebellious children, roughly paraphrasing. It says, verse 16. Oh, not verse 15, Salakia. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and and swords in their hands, right? All right, so go into this video. All right, and this is what you see taking place on these people, man. All right, they're beating them, stumping them. You know, you got you got people, you got weapons in their hand, hammers. You know, they're beating his ass, and this is what's going to continue to stir up more and more in the spirit of these, people who have realized that this place is through. All right, especially here in America. All right, so let me play this video. All right, let me see. And like it said, it's in Italy, okay? It says Italy is in civil unrest. So you see a civil unrest take place in Italy, Iran, and then America. All right? Hey, this is how you know that this place is just got a ticking time bomb rolling at this point, man. Okay? We're seeing it more and more as this devil get ready to come down, have a great wrath, come in like a flood. All right. This is what's going to take place here in America once again on a higher degree, okay, a higher level. But it says 16. I'll read that again. It says, for there shall be, 15. For the sword is and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another in swords in their hands. Right, exactly. So prime example. You see, you're gonna have a civil unrest. Okay, civil war. All right. What was it? Race war. All these things popping off simultaneously. Okay, it's just gonna be a great division within this wicked place, man. Okay. Verse 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's what you're seeing. People are going to start taking actions in their own hands. Okay, they're going to say to hell with the authorities, the government, the president, and so forth. They ain't hearing none of it, man. People are going to be rampaging, stealing, and robbing, and raping and murdering. Okay? The whole nine. They're going to be doing it all. Because what? There's not going to be no order in the streets. It's going to just be straight chaos. Just complete havoc roaring throughout the damn, cities, man. And this is what Esau will allow to happen to a certain degree, so he can push in that insurrection act. This guy Trump, man. Okay, this guy he's doing his damn thing in the seat. All right, but he's waiting for an opportunity. Like he lays a snare, okay, those traps to ultimately catch you. And this is ultimately what he's doing right now with Minnesota. Okay, he waiting for people to get more lethal, okay, bringing more of chaos so that he can push in that insurrection act and implement it and bring that military in, man. Okay, because when they send those boys in, okay, this devil's going to come in. He's not going to be sparing none of this, the scripture says. But this has got to take place where people are going to start to take actions in their own hands and fighting back. It says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? Because they're going to have everything barricaded off. Okay, highways, or the intersections, from city to city, towns, or however, they're going to have it barricaded off. The military troops are going to be patrolling in that area, man. You see? And people are not going to be able to go from one city to another. one state to another. It's going to be straight restrictions. All right, you're going to have something to be able to enter into that city or that town. All right, the military is going to have these things blocked off, a blockage. All right, these are the times we're coming into. And you're going to see these things get more and more tighter as these people lose their shit, man. It says verse 18, it says, for because their pride the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and man shall be afraid. So what's going to have to take place for you to see, or even men, mighty men probably, at that, be afraid? Jeremiah 30:7. It says, verse 19, for a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Right, that modern day gun. People are gonna be starting to utilize, all right, that sword, man. Okay, they're gonna start to put it to use. It ain't gonna be no more going to the gun range and testing it out. They're gonna start to put it to use, because it's gonna be a survival for the fittest type of thing, man. They're gonna be realizing, okay, we gotta get it how we live. They're gonna start taking those thoughts into consideration, and body bagging people, man, and running and taking those things that belongs in their neighbor's house out of it. They're gonna take it all. They're gonna take everything. These people are gonna just start a rampage, going on a rampage, man. Especially as food continues to rise, prices of living continues to rise. People are going to be able to they're going to be barely going to be able to make it around here, man. Barely be able to survive. The price of living just pretty much entering into that hyperinflation is going to cause people to go overboard with it, man. All right, and they're gonna go to what, as the scripture says, verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So they're not gonna have no pity. All right, they're gonna gun them down. They're gonna take what they got, and they're gonna continue to proceed to the next home. All right, and that's just gonna be for one individual who's taking care of, all right, their family. How much more for millions? You see, it says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So there you have it. For great tribulation, it's going to continue to get worse and worse, and nothing's going to get better here. All right, the scripture says the love of many shall wax cold because of great what of that. How it goes, let me see, I'm going to pull it up. All right. Let's see. Here it is. It's Matthew 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, so that iniquity shall abound, it's going to get worse, right? The love of many shall wax cold. So the people are going to start to, turn against those they loved for so long, many years. Neighbors knowing each other for many years that love for one another is gonna grow cold. All right, right now you have it. It's real cold. Okay, how much more for those individuals? All right, who are gonna numb themselves from all the distress they're gonna be under to make decisions to take over, or even delete an individual for their own benefit. What kind of spirit is going to be on these people, man? That's going to make them do what their surroundings and environment they're going to have to, or they're going to be in, that's going to put them in that kind of mindset. That's the state of this place in America that's coming to, man. Okay? So seeing this, it's only going to turn up much more. Civil unrest, people taking actions on their own hands. All right? What is it? Scripture says this right here as well. All right. Revelation 12 and 12. We'll close it out with this. And it reads, it says, and this is what these devils going to do. Revelation 12:12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. And this is the thing where, we're going to be rejoicing, man. Those that are hoping and trusting in Yahweh by Shemel Shai, that's that hopeful elect. Okay, the elect are going to have that rejoicing or spirit about them within a serious time, and acknowledging it, of course, but knowing that this is something that's giving us signs as we see today. That's that these devils, this wicked kingdom is crumbling, and a righteous one is being established. Okay, so reading again, Revelations 12:12, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe, meaning destruction, to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath. Okay, this devil's going to come down having great wrath. Again, this devil wants to be able to implement that insurrection act so that he can use his military might, to start coming in as a flood. He's already given these ICE and these other agencies the ability to have a full immunity, man. All right, if I'm pronouncing that right, correct me if I'm wrong. To be able to do as they please, as they want. There's not going to be no consequence for these things. So they're going to be like they show, going door to door, all right, looking for those quote unquote illegal immigrants, man. And we know that this devil is just picking the northern kingdom at this point, but soon it's going to be you niggas, man. All right, you jakes, and this is what this devil is going to do. All right, he's going to come down having great wrath, because he, as the scripture says, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. All right, so it's only going to show more and more. When these people lose it, he's going to come with it. Okay, so just something through the spirit, probably by Shemel Shai, Lord, when it's edifying, feed the sheep. I'm gonna close it out by giving all glory and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem Hakadash. Once again, double honor to those in the apostle great millstone who teach you well. Until next time I say Shalom.